So literally almost every single person on the internet talks about have a good circle of friends, have good friends, and so on and so forth. As if you should have friends that are not good anyways. Basically, what I'm about to share with you is this. One thing most people do not realize is that your friends are actually your biggest weaknesses, right? That's what most people do not understand. Your friends are your biggest weaknesses. Why? Because they are the only ones that can easily turn back on you and betray you. Unlike enemies, generally you know what to expect from enemies. An enemy will attack you, criticize you, vilify you, calumnize you, and all of that. But what is different is that you can easily deal with that, of course, by simply ignoring them. That's the best thing you can do. On the flip side, for a friend, a friend would betray you. And why does betrayal hurt the most? Because many people talk about betrayal. And why does it hurt the most? For two simple reasons. The first one is that they take you by surprise. So you're not prepared for it. You cannot defend, you cannot prevent it from happening. And the second point is that your friend knows your deep insecurities and weaknesses. So they know where to attack you. They know where to hit the nail as hard as possible. Now, I want you to imagine a scenario where we have two girls, friends, right? This happens mostly for women. Of course, it happens for every single woman, both men and women, but generally happens, it is worse for women because women are more less loyal to one another. So let's take two girls that fall apart. Maybe they have a heated altercation and it suddenly fell apart. You will notice that the virtuous one will instantly start telling the promiscuous one, you slut, something of that sort. Up to that point, within all their time and the moment they have spent, the good time they have spent together, she had no problem. She said no such thing. But immediately they fall apart, she starts throwing these things at her, you slut. Because she knows that this is where it hurt her friend to the core. She knows exactly where to take the bull by the horn. She knows, like, this is where if I press, I'm going to get the most out of her. Basically because you're much more vulnerable to your friend. And like I said, up to this point, before this point, all she was telling her friend was, you know what, it's fine, these men are just bad people. It's not your fault that you have a body count of 738. It's fine, these men are just trash, they're rubbish, don't mind them. But now immediately they have an altercation or they have a heated argument, it becomes that you're just a slut. You don't take care of yourself, you don't respect or you don't value yourself. Now, am I in any way trying to say you should go through life without having friends? Of course not. That is practically impossible. And let me make this pertinent clear because most people do not understand this concept. It is almost, I would say it is impossible to go through life without having a friend or friends. It's difficult. In fact, to make it even worse, I will tell you that it is a lot easier. No, not a lot easier. That's the wrong word. It is possible for you to go through life without having parents. I know how extreme this might sound, but I know exactly what I'm talking about. Because there are lots of people who were born without their parents. Some people were born and the father died at maybe when they were 1 year. They don't even know their father and so on. Others, they grew up, their mom died as well, and so they are left to survive on their own. But it is so difficult to go through life without a friend. It is because you need to have someone which you can count on. Now, talking about this concept of friendhood or friendship, I like to make a distinction between your friend and brother, right? I don't know why I'm so much attached to the concept of brotherhood because I know how important it is, especially as a man. You need to have people that you can bet your life on. Yeah, I know everybody is worried about the trust issue, but you need to have those kinds of people. So am I saying that you should go through life without a friend? No. What I'm saying is that you need to understand this concept that you are more vulnerable and exposed to your friends, so that you don't just throw your emotions and give your loyalty out there for free, for absolutely nothing. You need to understand that for this person to be called my friend, like a friend or a brother, she needs to have ticked the worthwhile box. As such, you tend to realize that your friend zone diminishes or plummets, and you have more worthwhile or valuable friends. You have friends that you can count on. Me, for instance, at this point in my life, I have two brothers that I can bet my life on. Two persons that You can get up and you say, okay, I have a serious problem, I need to run, I need to escape. Please go here to this place, take this amount of money, take care of my family, see you in 7 years time. And you would not have even an inch of doubt that they are going to execute what you instructed exactly and precisely as you said it. You wouldn't doubt it. Of course, I know everybody is paranoid because of trust issues. I'm going to discuss the concept of that, the issue of trust, maybe in a subsequent video, but I want to stay within the boundaries of friendship here. And one other thing I mostly hear people, especially the females, they have a problem with is with men being vulnerable, because one thing about friendship is that friendship lets you to be vulnerable to your friend, right? I want to give this so that the female can understand. Most guys will not say this, but I want to say it for free. I'm giving you for free. The problem is not that men are trying to be tough, they want to show that they are tough. No, not necessarily, not that at all. The problem is, one of the main reasons why it's difficult to be vulnerable with women is that women have a much more pliable mind and they easily panic under pressure. What do I mean by that? It is easier to convince a woman to do something out of her own will than to convince a man. That's just basic logic, especially with emotions. That's just basic logic. So what I mean by this is that if you have two people that are friends, a male and a female, right? Generally, what happens is this: if you tell them a secret that, please, this is my life, this is, don't joke with this. If you joke with this, I'm a dead man, right? And you find out that your male friend, your guy, put it out there. You know what? You instantly know that, okay, now he's turned against me. He's now an enemy. You understand this, and he too understands this. But the problem with the female is that if this same scenario happens with the female, you don't even know whether she gave it ignorantly, just out of her feelings, or just out of, she wasn't aware of what she was doing, or she actually was aware. This is sincerely, because most of the time, women say things just because they were angry, or they were mad, or they were upset, and they didn't really mean it. That's the problem. So to avoid all of this, the guy said, okay, it's better that I just don't put you in that situation, that scenario where I have to start contemplating about whether you are with me or not. Basically, that's just it. If not, guys will not have any problem. Guys will not have any problem being vulnerable to women, basically. So me personally, if I had an option, if I had a choice where I had 10 people to choose from, whether to be my friends or my enemies, I wouldn't say I would choose or want to make them enemies, because you should, please, many people say you should have as many enemies as possible. No, don't do that. Don't do that shit. Enemies, you should build enemies because you are doing something that is worthwhile and people are turning against you, or people are trying to revolt against you. Not just because you pick enemies from here and there for nothing, for basically no reason. Because enemies are actually a source of demotivation. They actually suck out the positive energy in you, which is very draining. So what I would do for me is that I'll choose two. If I can make two my brothers, fine. The rest, it's okay. They could just be acquaintances or people you know. The opposite of friend is not enemy, right? You can know someone, they are not that close to you, and yeah, you just know them, you chat one, probably hang out with from time to time, but they are not really your friends. So don't do that. And one other thing you have to understand is that it is, like I mentioned earlier, it is far easier to deal with enemies, because, like I said, the worst they can do is just to attack you, and you can deal with that. Generally, the reality is that if you're born into this world and you want to achieve something, you want to do something great, you want to be this great man or this great person, anything worthwhile, you're going to on your way catch lots of enemies. But the truth is that you are not going to catch that level of extreme enemies. You're just going to catch people that do not like you, or do not like your views, or do not like where you come from. They just don't like something about you. There are people out here who are actually having some serious enemies, like people that are after their life, trying to kill them. So yeah, basically that's what I should say. You need to understand these things so that you know exactly how to execute your plans. Okay.